Story time about when I told a girl who was hitting on me that she needs to see a doctor. I met this girl at a camping event and we hit it off pretty well. I was pretty damn religious at the time and took the whole no sex before marriage rule to heart. Dating wasn't allowed in my family until you hit 18 and I was 17 at the time. By the end of the trip, she asked for my IG, which I replied, I don't use IG. Then she asked for my Snapchat. I don't have a Snapchat either. Finally, she asked, what do you use? And I told her Facebook. You'd think her going out of her way to add me on a platform that she hasn't used in years would be a hint, but nope. My dumb ass just thought, at least she'll get to know how good Messenger is now. Fast forward about 2 weeks, we've been talking consistently for a while and she's subtly mentioning all these ideal date spots in the city and all I could reply with was, wow, looks like a great spot. Let me know how it is if you ever go there. At this point, she went for the Hail Mary and sent me a picture of her thigh pointing out a mole that she hasn't noticed before. I went into diagnosis mode and told her Google said it could either be a mole or cancer. She laughed thinking that I was joking when I wasn't and asked if I was free for a video call. I answered the call and there she was, naked in a fucking towel with the camera zooming into her cleavage. That's when she says, I noticed a mole right here too, as she points to the camera right above her nipple and almost slips the towel. My dumb ass responds, hate to break it to you, but I ain't a doctor. If you're worried about it, you should really have it checked out. The call ended abruptly afterwards and she stopped messaging me after that day for a week. Then she blocked me. I was dumbfounded and thought, if she really hates being my friend that much, then she should have at least had the decency to be upfront about it. Fast forward to today while I was sitting in my place watching some Netflix when out of nowhere this flashback hit me like a truck carrying years worth of obliviousness. I live in California and recently returned to working in person. My job hours have recently been erratic because of this. Yesterday, I got out of work around 8 p.m. and was too tired to make myself dinner. I figured I'd stop at a restaurant for dinner, which would also help a local business that's had a tough year. I got to the restaurant a bit after 8:30, but I had looked it up beforehand and knew it was open till 9, which I thought wouldn't be a problem. However, as soon as I sat down, the waitress was clearly rushing me and actually told me not to order a burger because they've already shut down the grill. I informed her that the restaurant's posted hours were until 9 p.m. and it wasn't my fault that they were shutting down before that. She gave me a bunch of attitude but then shrieked, fine, before storming off. The burger took a long time to make, probably because they shut the grill down too early and I didn't get it until after 9. While I was eating, the waitress was constantly hovering me, which I didn't appreciate after a long day's work. By the time I was finished and paid, it was around 9:25. I thought the waitress was rude and inconsiderate, so I didn't tip her. I pay for good service, not to be berated. After all of this, the waitress confronted me while I was walking to my car and kept calling me an a-hole. I feel like this further justified me not leaving a tip, but some folks at my work today actually took her side. Shouldn't a restaurant's posted hours mean they welcome customers before then? Shouldn't going on a tirade against a customer mean you don't get a tip? Am I the asshole for not leaving a tip after getting horrible service? My daughter Alyssa is 5. Every night, my wife and I go through the same routine of reminding her to pick up her toys and tidy up her room before dinner. I came home late, just right before dinner, and my wife is smiling and whispers, Alyssa has something to show you. My daughter grabs my hand and pulls me to her room and said, look. I said, what am I looking at? She said, my room. I cleaned it all by myself and mommy didn't even have to tell me to. I said, that's it? I thought you were going to show me something important. Sweetie, cleaning your room is what you're supposed to do. Nobody has to tell you to do that. You just do it. And make sure to do this every night. I'm going to take a shower. While I'm in the shower, my wife comes in and says, hey, what happened? I said, what are you talking about? She said, Alyssa is crying and she won't talk to me. Did she show you her room? I said, yeah. She said, and what? That's what she's supposed to do. Then my wife got all dramatic and said, oh my god, please don't tell me you said that to her. Then we got into a huge argument while I'm in the shower, mind you. All I wanted to do was come home, take a shower, eat dinner, and go to bed. Not deal with all this crap. My wife wanted me to apologize, but I told her I don't see what I have to apologize for. I came out to eat and talk to Alyssa, but my wife, still in her bad mood, said that Alyssa had lost her appetite and cried herself to sleep. Either my wife is over-exaggerating, which she tends to do when she's in a bad mood and wants to make me feel bad, or Alyssa inherited her mother's dramaticness. Then she wouldn't talk to me for the rest of the night or even come to bed. I don't feel bad because I know that I'm right in this case. When did we start congratulating people on doing what they're supposed to do? Am I the asshole for not congratulating my daughter on cleaning her room?
Am I the asshole for barking at my ex? For some background, Ezra, my ex, male 40-ish, and I, female 36, split in 2018. After 6 months in the relationship, he started to show some red flags. I ran for the hills, got over him, found my person, and I'm overall happy in life. That's now. Then I focused on work, him on his new girlfriend that lasted maybe 8 months. Their breakup also started the calls. First for support, but they soon evolved into complaining sessions I just wasn't in the mood for. It got so bad that I had to block him and then the emails started coming. I blocked him there too. In the meantime, I moved in with my man 2 blocks away from my best friend and within a mile from Ezra's baby mama's place. I was on my way home from my BFFs and had a lovely night when all of a sudden Ezra appeared with his kid. Am I the asshole for barking at my ex? I was on my way home from my BFFs and had a lovely night. Was all tipsy and happy, headphones in, and walking, dancing through the streets. And all of a sudden, a wild Ezra appeared with a kid 13 in tow. Since I didn't hear him calling me, he decided to rip one of my headphones and started yelling this and that. Basically rubbish about how I ruined his last relationship, which I never even met the girl, so witchcraft it is. And how I'm a huge B-word. Well, I started barking. And kept barking, rising the volume to match his. People were staring, but I was too tipsy to care. Lucky for him, a clever boy, he got quiet quickly, looked around, and left. Eureka! Something works. Since then, every time Ezra bothers me in public, I just bark at him loudly till he runs away. Am I the asshole for pressing charges against an 18-year-old girl? I have a 17-year-old son who has a girlfriend and an ex. My son also has a car. I think you can see where this is going. My son dumped his ex-girlfriend because he began to have feelings for another girl. He spoke to me and I made sure to tell him how to dump her lightly and not to hurt her feelings before trying things out with the other girl. He did, telling the ex why she was being dumped. Obviously, the ex was not happy. She ended up keying my son's car. I'm talking to the point where it's completely messed up. She carved my son's new girlfriend's name onto the doors and called her the S word. She also drew a man with a very small eggplant and labeled it my son's name. She also broke one of the windows and poured a soft drink into it. I came home as she was pouring in the soft drink. Am I the asshole for pressing charges against an 18-year-old girl? He keyed his car really bad and also broke one of the windows and poured a soft drink into it. I came home as she was pouring in the soft drink and immediately called the cops. The ex got arrested and had to pay bail. I'm feeling like pressing charges because it's my son's first car and we don't want to spend so much money on a new car. The ex's mother came to my house and was full on screaming at me. She said that I was a monster for calling the cops on a woman of color. And she also stated that my son cheated and deserved to have his car ruined. I really don't feel bad in the slightest for pressing charges and ruining her life. She is acting really irrational. Am I the asshole for pressing charges against an 18-year-old girl? Am I the asshole for refusing to host Thanksgiving for 20+ people for the 4th time in a row? My fiance has a large family, parents, 2 brothers with significant others, numerous adult nieces and nephews, and their partners. Distant family usually tags along. I have 2 family members that join holidays, and this year neither will be able to attend, and last year one was present. For the past years, I've single-handedly cooked from scratch and hosted for both Thanksgiving and Christmas. Essentially, I've been cooking for 20+ people while my partner babysits a brisket in the smoker. There's a lot of logistics behind cooking for a larger crowd. I prep the night before, cook all morning and afternoon, and by the time everything is done, I'm exhausted. Last year, I requested that everyone brings one side dish or dessert, and no one brought a thing. I figured, so I prepared it anyway. No one even thanks me. Am I the asshole for refusing to host Thanksgiving for 20+ people for the 4th year in a row? I've never even been thanked for cooking or hosting. Literally, by no one. All the leftovers get picked over and taken home. Last year, I even had to cook the following day because there was nothing left to eat. I wanted to enjoy leftovers at least. This year, I told my partner I had no intention of cooking. If he wanted to host, he can cater. His reaction was, but that's our tradition. Can you at least make some box stuffing or something? And everyone is planning on coming. My reaction was, nope, that's your tradition. I will not make box stuffing, and if they're planning on coming, you better put that catering order in. He's not spoken to me since. I also haven't been feeling well after an 8-month course of Rev medication. Am I the asshole for going with my friend to a restaurant that was originally reserved for me and my wife? Yesterday was my birthday. My 30 male, wife 28, and I made reservations at this really nice Korean barbecue restaurant for dinner. My wife is 4 months pregnant. However, her friend wanted to hang out with her and had called her the night before my birthday. My wife said this was a childhood friend of hers and that she really wanted to spend time with her. I reminded her that it was my birthday, but she dismissed it, saying that my birthday comes every year, but her friend will be leaving for Germany in a few weeks. I told her that she could go after my birthday as well, but she didn't listen and just went to a sleepover at her friend's place. I got really mad, and instead of waiting for her to return home to talk things out, I asked my friend if he wanted to hang out with me. We spent the day fishing, grilling, hiking, and went to the Korean barbecue. Am I the asshole for going with my friend to a restaurant that was originally reserved for me and my wife? She didn't care about it being my birthday and left to go over to her friends. I went to the barbecue with one of my buddies. When she came home after spending time with their friend, she apologized to me, saying it was an unavoidable circumstance. I told her that it wasn't a problem and that I spent the day with my best friend. She got mad that I take him to the restaurant that we booked for ourselves. I said that it was originally for us, but she prioritized her friend over me. So I took the person who prioritized me on my birthday. She said that I'm controlling and that I shouldn't be deciding who she spends time with. Now she's neither talking to me nor coming out of the room. I think I went too far by telling her who she should be spending time with. Am I the asshole for kicking out my girlfriend? So I have a cat named Raven who's 3 years old. My girlfriend of 2 years moved in with me a few weeks ago, and it was clear she didn't like my cat. I didn't think it was really a big deal until one day I got home and he was just gone. He's not an outdoor cat and he never goes outside. He was gone for hours and I was worried until my buddy came to my house and returned him, saying he found him 2 blocks from my house. I asked my girlfriend about it and she admitted to kicking him out. I was furious, saying she had no right to kick him out. I told her that since she thought she had the power to kick my cat out, I wanted her out of my house by the end of the month. She cried that she had nowhere to go and that she would have to live on the streets. I didn't care and told her to leave by the end of the month.